is Francesca Evans from LymeOnline, bringing you all of this week's top stories from the Lyme Regis area. A statue of former Mayor of Lyme Regis and founder of Bermuda, Admiral Sir George Somers, has become a target amid anti-racism protests this week. The word murderer was written across an information board next to the statue in Langmore Gardens on Tuesday, and a cardboard sign describing Sir George as an opportunist was also removed from the statue earlier that morning. The incident came as anti-racism protests were held across the UK following the death of George Floyd in America. In Bristol, a statue of slave trader Edward Colston was pulled down and dumped in the harbour. Lyme's George Somers statue has now been listed on a website for the campaign Topple the Racists. This has been set up by an anti-Trump protest group and includes an interactive map with users encouraged to add the locations of statues they consider racist or connected to slavery. Sir George Somers was a former mayor and MP of Lyme Regis who founded Bermuda after being shipwrecked on the islands in 1609 on his way to the new English colony of Jamestown, Virginia. Lyme Regis is now twinned with St George's in Bermuda, where Sir George is widely celebrated. Suggestions that he was involved in the slave trade have been refuted. Lyme Regis author and historian Peter Lacey said that Sir George's death in 1610 predated the slave trade involving the English and North Americans. Chairman of the Twinning Association, John Dover, also said there was no historical evidence that Sir George ever murdered anyone or was involved in slavery. The Mayor of Lyme Regis, Councillor Brian Larkham, has also condemned the vandalism. However, Bermudan politician Christopher Famous, who represents the Progressive Labour Party, has criticised the prominence given to Sir George in the island's history and said such statues were monuments to colonialism and slavery. On the Topple the Racist website, Sir George has been described as a coloniser of Bermuda and a war criminal. The Mayor of Lyme Regis has written to owners of holiday lets and second homes telling them they will be welcome back to the town when the time is right. Councillor Brian Larkham has sent letters to many holiday let owners assuring them that they are a valued part of the community and that property owners and their guests will be welcome to return when the coronavirus restrictions are lifted. The current government guidelines mean that people can now travel to Lyme Regis from all over the country, but cannot stay the night. The Mayor's decision to send out letters came after some owners of holiday lets and second homes became the target of abuse by residents who were concerned about the spread of coronavirus. Some property owners have reported abusive letters being posted through their doors, and in one case a window was smashed. Councillor Larkham was interviewed on BBC Radio Solent earlier this week when he described the abuse as short-sighted. Radio host Steve Harris said it was a breath of fresh air for Lyme Regis to acknowledge the issues caused by second home owners, but also recognise the great deal of good they do for the town's economy. Work has recommenced on the refurbishment of the Rock Point Inn this week, with hopes that it will be ready to open on July 4th. St Austell Brewery, based in Cornwall, purchased the Rock Point in November 2018, and work on a complete refurbishment got underway last year. It was originally intended to open the new pub and restaurant in April, but this was delayed due to the coronavirus outbreak. Contractors are now back on site with the hope that the refurbishment can be finished in time for July 4th, when some hospitality outlets are being given the go-ahead from the government to open. Steve Worrell, St Austell's Managing Director of Pubs, Inns and Hotels, said they were working on a detailed plan of how they could open safely following government guidelines. Local chef and restaurateur Mark Hicks is back in business, having launched a new mobile fish truck. Mark's Lyme Regis restaurant and guest house, as well as 3 restaurants in London, went into administration in April due to the effects of the coronavirus pandemic. But he has now decided to reinvent himself and has launched the Hicks oyster and fish truck using a converted vintage American ambulance. The new venture was launched at Felicity's Farm Shop in Morecambe Lake this week, where it will be open for business every Wednesday to Saturday. Mark is also hoping to take the truck around to local villages and to food festivals when they can be held again. A proposal to build 5 new houses on the corner of Timber Hill and Charmouth Road in Lyme Regis has been submitted to Dorset Council. The application outlines plans for 4 4-bedroom houses and 1 5-bed house on land currently owned by the property Henley's Acre on Timber Hill. The 5 detached houses would be built on an area of land measuring almost 5,000 square metres outside the defined development boundary of Lyme Regis. And finally, local photographer Rob Coombe has been capturing Lyme Regis residents during the lockdown and has now released a video to finish the project. From children learning at home to local firemen and shop workers, Rob has been trying to capture how the Lyme Regis community has coped during the coronavirus pandemic. He also shot video clips of those he photographed, as well as scenes from around the town, and has now released a moving video as a lasting memory of lockdown. You can watch the full video on YouTube, but here's a short clip to see us out this week. Thanks for watching.